All right, welcome back to the Uncanceled Podcast. It's episode 19. And again, me and Blaze are having our random conversations that make have some no sense. Anyway, today's topics, I don't know, Blaze, I don't even know if I told you what today's topics were. And sometimes we have topics and sometimes we don't, but today's we're pre-spawn and turkey hunt. Now, the last podcast we filmed before we filmed with McCoy, we talked about pre-spawn fishing, but we never did get to go over the rest of my points that I want to talk about. But the turkey hunting part was important because I actually did a lot of research for this. And it's kind of talking about the decline of turkeys in Georgia or whatever. And I don't know, Blaze, didn't y'all used to turkey hunt out west, didn't you?
Yeah. I would definitely say, hold on. My audio's weird. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, I would say all all wildlife's a lot more plentiful down in Georgia. But up there, there's some counties in eastern Washington that you can find a lot of turkeys.
Yeah.
So me and my brother went up there for a youth hunt one time and got a few.
Oh, by the way, we got papers. We're official now. We got papers to film the podcast on. Now we have a script. But I know the decline topic of turkeys may be kind of boring, but it's important to know, especially in Georgia, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on that makes turkeys decline, the population of them decline, and I've seen it happen. And that's what we're going to be getting into in here in a minute. But also, for those of you who didn't see the podcast we filmed with McCoy Fisher, it's available on YouTube and Spotify. Both of those links will be in the description below. So anyway, we'll get started here. Let me put my phone on mute. Okay. Oh, by the way, we got the official drink of the podcast, Mountain Dew Major Melon. Blaze, have you ever tried this before?
No.
Did what?
I'm gonna pull a Noah for the podcast.
Huh?
I said I'm gonna pull a Noah and quit the podcast if you say that's our drink or whatever.
But
by the way, you still have him on thumbnails and stuff.
Do what?
You still have his face on thumbnails and stuff.
Yeah, on some of them, yeah. Anyway, so I guess we'll get started with this. Okay, so I had a bunch of notes for this that I wrote down and some different websites or whatever that I looked at, and for some reason or another, it printed my printer didn't print the ink black. It printed it gray, and now I can't hardly see it. Anyway, I'm gonna try my best to read this, but the article that I'm about to read about the turkey population, it's written by John Phillips from Mulsey Oak, which I'm pretty sure y'all have heard of. But anyway, John interviewed a guy named Dr. Canemer. I guess that's how you say that, his last name. I looked it up, and that's what they told me to say. Anyway, but in his quote, he says, in the past, each state had different methods of collecting data on turkeys. Wow, that was really loud. Oh my gosh. Anyway, each state had different methods of collecting data on turkeys. However, in recent years, the states are now collecting data on harvest, reproduction, and the other factors that contribute to the health and population of the wild turkey. So, something I want to bring up about turkey hunting in Georgia. This is in Georgia, or really just the Southeast. Turkeys are really it's hard to find a property, and Blaze, I think you can agree with this. It's really hard to find a property in Georgia right now that is covered in them, that's got a lot of turkeys and got them to where you can just walk out there one morning and smoke one.
Even my property used to be like that, but I don't know what happened. Maybe they're scared of smoke or something, because
rip house
gone for a long
time. But I mean, because I went over there and we got two properties that we hunt turkeys on. Another we just got another one this year. Well, we didn't just get it. I got permission to hunt on it this year. Um, and there's turkeys up there. But let me tell you, that's like I've turkey hunted on a lot of properties. Just had turkey hunting on 20 different properties. Out of those 20 properties, only probably I would say 11 or 12 of those properties had birds throughout the turkey season. Um, and it's just, and I actually talked to my dad about this. My dad's been turkey hunting for like 20 years. He's been turkey hunting for a long, long time, and knows a lot about it. But so I asked him about this, and I got a quote from him. He said, when I was turkey hunting back in the early 2000s, there were turkeys everywhere on our cattle farm. They used to be all in the fields and woods, but in the spring of 2004, there was a really big flood that killed a lot of the poults and everything. And I think that is what actually happened, because there's a lot of pictures from my dad that shot turkeys, way back in the day, and they shot their limits every year, like every single year. Him, my brother, or him, his brother, and his brother-in-law, they shot their limits every year. They did it over and over again. And then in 2004, there's a real big flood or whatever, and so like we got this creek that runs to this property, and these turkeys, they would hang out in the bottoms and everything with their poults or whatever. And the flood came, and it took out all the eggs and all the turkeys and everything. And whether that's actually what killed all the turkey or took the population way down, I don't know. But that could be a reason. And there's really not an exact way to say what killed the turkeys. But I think predators have a major role in it as well. And coyotes are really, really, really bad with them, because I've seen a lot of coyotes here recently, and I think that's what is bothering some of the turkeys. Blaze, how many turkeys have you killed before?
Two.
Two. I've only killed one.
Oh,
Because,
no, take it back. My brother actually shot that one. I've only killed one.
do what?
We've each only killed one.
Oh, okay. I've only killed one. So what did y'all shoot with a 12 gauge or a 20 gauge?
I shot with 12. My younger brother shot a 20.
Okay, I'll actually tell you something funny. So, I don't know, for those of you who listen to our audience, I don't know how many of y'all shoot 12 gauge. I shoot 12 gauge normally for everything.
I only shoot 12 gauge.
Now actually I'll tell you back. I like to shoot a 20 gauge when I'm hunting small birds. Which you can shoot them with a 12 gauge. It will do this. It kills them just fine. But I personally like to shoot them with a 20 gauge, or sometimes a 28 gauge when I'm hunting small birds like quail or something. But normally I'm hunting a 12 gauge when I'm shooting doves or duck. Obviously, I don't shoot ducks with a 20 gauge. Not that it doesn't work. It works just fine. You can kill them.
That's what I started with, but it's not going to do. It's not going to do what some other guns can do.
Yeah, no, I would rather be shooting a goose or something with a 3-inch or 3.5-inch Magnum 12 gauge. And I'll tell you something else about 3.5-inch Magnum. I don't really know how many of y'all shoot 3.5-inch Magnum and 20 gauge. I really don't know if I've heard anybody shooting a 3.5-inch Magnum through a 20 gauge. I guess there are guns that can do that, but most of the time people are shooting 3-inch through a 20 gauge normally when they're turkey hunting or doing whatever they're doing, duck hunting. But 3.5-inch Magnums, when you're duck hunting, they kick like a freaking mule. It's ridiculous. They kick so bad.
It's like worse than slugs.
Oh no, no doubt. And so I had my daddy's got a 7mm, and it's a rifle, but I compared the two, and obviously two completely different guns. But a 7mm is got like, I don't know, I don't know the exact grainage of the bullet, but it's a lot, and it kicks a lot. And that thing, it's bad. It'll rock your shoulder. And I shot the 12 gauge the other day with 3.5-inch Magnum, duck load, federal premium, and it kicked a lot. It was rough. I would probably have to say that it was worse than a 7 millimeter. Because 7 millimeters are bad. Blades, have you ever shot a 7 millimeter?
I haven't.
Yeah, the bullet's like that big, by the way.
Oh yeah, I've seen them. I've never shot them.
And the thing is, my dad has got a freaking Woodstock Ruger. The gun's not that heavy, and it kicks so bad. But anyway, back to the turkey conversation. Yeah, I think that some of the the population that is declining is because of turkeys, and maybe it's because of the floods or whatever, and maybe the turkey population is coming up now, which I think it is, because I am seeming here lately seeing more properties that are getting their turkeys back. But actually, there's an article that I saw. It's like called popularscience.com or something. I don't know. But anyway, it says the wild turkey population peaked around 2001 and around 6.7 million birds in North America. But in the years since, it has dropped by about 15%. The eastern wild turkey, the most abundant species, which which lives in east of the Mississippi River, appears to be declining across parts of the Northeast, Southeast, and Midwest. So, like I said, I think it's coming back now, because there is the property that I'm hunting this year didn't have turkeys last year. It's got turkeys this year. I saw them deer hunting, and I saw them. My grandfather, he's the property owner. He's seen the turkeys this fall and seen them this February, which February is actually a really good time of the month to go and to go scout for turkeys. Which turkey hunting is really, really fun. It really is. And if you've never done it before, I highly suggest that you find a property that's got them. Make sure that you are allowed to hunt on that property, because I know so many people that aren't technically allowed to be there, and they went and shot a turkey off that property, and then it caught up with them, and they got in a lot of trouble. So make sure you're able to shoot, able to be there legally. Do what?
I can't say much about fishing. I fish about anywhere I can see water and of any fence is jumpable.
That's different, because I think we've all done that before. I have. But like, do what?
Took me to that one spot.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. That's not public. That's not a public spot, Blaze. But yeah, seriously though, make sure that you're able to hunt on that property legally. Make sure you got permission, because people get arrested for that all the time, which, I mean, it's not good. Yeah, I also found something else about some of these I never even have heard of in my life. The couple different animals that apparently it caused a decline in turkeys. Some of them I knew about, and some of them I didn't. Snakes, they're going to eat their eggs. I didn't know skunks had anything to do with it. Apparently, crows and ravens are a big factor in turkey declining.
One thing that's not animals that has a big factor in the declining turkeys. This is everyone listen to this.
Hit us with it.
Like, this should be shared all over. I don't know why this isn't like more public. The Walmart deer corn kills.
The what?
The Walmart deer corn. Like,
Yeah.
the deer corn you buy at like Walmart and all those stores. That's like the bottom of the line that has a bunch of like bacteria and stuff, and that'll kill whole properties of turkey.
I didn't know about that.
I learned that from a game warden.
Do what? Yeah, that is something that is I think I didn't know crows and ravens had anything to do with it. I knew possums were a factor in it. I knew coons were. Dogs, coyotes, are really bad for a lot of them. I don't know about like house pets, dog, like those kind of dogs. But coyotes are obviously bad. I think that is one of the main factors, and a lot of the animals that are declining. Obviously deer are not declining whatsoever. Like, the deer are actually overpopulated. But that is a reason that that's why coyotes, you know, are on people's property so much, is because I think about any property you go to in Georgia at some point in time has or had a group of deer that lived on it and stayed there for a period of time. I think every property in Georgia has had that at one point. And a lot of people and a lot of properties in Georgia still have deer that live on them. And I think that's why coyotes are everywhere because of that. And coyotes breed abundantly, so they have a lot of babies. Hawks are bad. Owls are bad. A fox is really bad. Cougars. I don't know that we don't have any cougars around here, but something else is really bad is eagles. I actually saw a video, dude. I'm not kidding you. I would go play it, but I can't find it. I actually went to go look for it before we started filming. There was a video of an eagle. You know, they're really big. It picked up a full-grown hen, like an actual hen, and picked it up and carried it off. Not a joke. Have you ever? I've never in my life seen anything like that before.
You haven't?
Do what?
You haven't?
I've not seen an eagle pick up a full-grown turkey.
Really?
No, never.
In Washington, there's a lot of eagles, and we'd have like chickens. A lot of chickens gone. They could come take out like 5.
I mean, yeah, I've seen them. I've seen them pick up chickens, but not a turkey, not a big turkey. I mean, my chickens get eaten by hawks, you know, several times. But I've never, because I've seen a hawk come pick up a chicken before, but I've never seen a turkey get picked up by like an eagle. That's kind of big. But yeah, we that's something I wanted to share about the turkey pop. I really, like I said, I really like the turkey hunt. I really do. Turkey hunting to me is addicting because like when you're turkey, and okay, for those of you who may have not have turkey hunted, let me tell you what happens. So you wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. You don't even know who you are because you woke up and it's 4 a.m. and it's too early to be doing anything. But then you're getting ready to go turkey hunting, and you get out there. Say it's mid-April or whatever. It's not hot, and see, turkey hunting is the one thing where it's not like super cold, and then it's not super hot. Blaze, you're lagging. You're lagging, Blaze. Okay, there we go. But turkey hunting is in the springtime, so it's not super cold and it's not super hot. So it's kind of like, you know, in the 50s or something that morning, and which is nice. Normally when you get turkey hunting, it's in the 40s or 50s and 60s and 70s sometimes. But anyway, back to my point. You know, you wake up and it's not super hot, and it's the weather's nice or whatever, and you get out there and the whole freaking woods come to life in the morning, and then you hear the daggone bird gobble. The bird gobbling is like the best part.
That's
It's
like
the literal. The what?
It's like a hook set when you're fishing.
Oh yeah, no. It's like it's like a frog. It's like a fishing a frog over a mat of lilies, and then just boom, and it explodes like a 10-pounder explodes on your freaking Spro Bronze I-64. It is literally like the best sound in the world to hear. That bird gobble down there on the hardwood hill is amazing. I'm telling you, if you have not been turkey hunting, I encourage you today, right now, to go find somebody to take you turkey hunting, because turkey hunting. Did what?
Shows you how much I know about turkey hunting. I've only killed one. Is it turkey season right now?
No, turkey season don't start till March, the last weekend in March.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to talk about it because we're getting close. We're not.
Find somebody with property right now. I thought you meant like.
Yeah. But turkey hunt is definitely something that I encourage anybody to do, because like I like to deer hunt a lot. I really like to deer hunt. I shot a really good buck last year, which was great and all, but turkey hunting and duck hunting, bird hunting to me is like the best kind of hunting. Blaze, I'm not sure what kind of hunting you prefer over, you know, other types of hunting, but I really like to go turkey hunting and bird hunting.
Yep, duck hunting's at the top of my list. Actually,
Yeah.
the most thing I've done, or the most fun I've had hunting, was pheasant hunting.
Is what?
Pheasant?
Oh yeah.
Like walking cornfields and stuff. Pheasant hunting would be number 1, and then duck and deer would both fall under that as a number 2.
I have never shot a pheasant. I shot a quail, shot a lot of quail, but I've never shot pheasant before. Um, I tell you something else I really like to do is duck hunting. Um, I really like to go duck hunt. Funny thing is, I only go duck hunting like 4 or 5 times a year. Because I live in Georgia and there's really not a lot of ducks around here. I mean there are like there's mallards and everything, but they're not, as abundant as like Kansas or Nebraska or somewhere like that, or Arkansas or Louisiana. Think about the Duck Dynasty guys, Duck Commander. They shoot mallards down there like all the time. Mallards, pintail, um, everything else. They're shooting them all the time. We don't see those kind of ducks down here. We got teal. We usually have a pretty good amount of teal and everything. I really like the duck hunt though. It's really nice to see the be in the swamp that morning and then there's wood ducks piling on you. Let me tell you, when the wood ducks come, they're like in your face. Blaze, I don't know if you've ever been wood duck hunting before, but
I haven't. I haven't hunted a whole lot in Georgia.
but I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something about wood duck hunting. This year I was duck hunting, and so we were hunting this flooded timber or whatever, and I was standing next to this tree, right? And these wood ducks, I could hear them. I didn't know where they were. I just hear them, and they're right over my head. I swear to you, they just stopped flying and dropped. Like they dropped right in front of my face. And once I knew where they were, they took a hard left. Right, I swear to you, I could stick my arm out and grab the drake. He was right in front of my face. And I actually shot one of them, but I don't know why he didn't. I don't know why I couldn't find him. He folded like a rock. And I actually had asked about it on this group on Facebook or whatever, and a bunch of people were saying that a duck. I've never heard of this. That a duck will, when it's shot and injured real bad, it will dive in the water and grab onto a plant and drown itself.
Oh yeah, I've had them do that all the time.
I have never heard anything like that. Probably because I'm not a duck hunter, but I've never heard anything like that in my life. Okay, but we got to talk about pre-spawn fishing now. I want to talk about that as well. Let's see. I had something about that too. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, the what?
Pre-spawn fishing is not my thing as much as it is yours.
Okay, so a point I wanted to make. Last the first episode that we filmed this year, right? We were carrying on about pre-spawn fishing, like pre-spawn fishing's the best kind of fishing. Well, we didn't say that, but we were like making it sound like that. I want to go back and talk about that more. Pre-spawn fishing will whoop your butt. Yeah. It is really, really okay. It can be easy, and you can catch a lot of fish doing it. But I went out not last Monday, 2 Mondays ago, and I had COVID. Or I didn't have COVID. My mom had COVID. But we were quarantined or whatever, so I didn't go. I didn't do anything that day. So I went fishing. I caught 2 fish the entire day, and I was out there for like 6 hours. It was cloudy. So a funny thing was the whole entire time on that podcast, we were like, the cloudy days are going to be the best day with a little bit of wind, kind of mild. And so I went out there. I didn't get but 2 bites the entire freaking day.
Wait, how long ago was this?
Like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
And I think the fishing's about to start getting better. We're getting later into February.
And
but
weather's starting to pick up. It's getting warmer.
Yeah, it's definitely getting warmer. I'll tell you something about February. January is cold. January is going to be cold. December is going to be cold. We had a warm December, but we had a pretty cold January. But anyway, December and January normally is when those fish are in their wintertime patterns. And there's still a lot of fish right now in February that are in their wintertime patterns. There's a lot of fish in March that are still on their wintertime patterns. But it just seems like the closer you get to the spawn, the further you get out of winter, those fish just seem to get easier to catch, and they seem to not be as hard. Maybe that's just me, but Blaze, do you have a whole lot of experience fishing pre-spawn? I know not a couple years ago.
Last 2 years, I took a trip to Washington to visit friends right before the spawn.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It was about this time for the last 2 years. So this will really be my first year in Georgia fishing the pre-spawn.
Yeah.
Spawn is where I have a lot of fun. So in a couple podcasts later, I'll be able to talk about that.
Actually, so I remember that, Blaze, you had called me one afternoon and we were talking about, I don't remember what we were talking about. We were talking about like, maybe drift squad or something. And,
Back in those days.
I promise y'all, I done told y'all this like 4 or 5 times. We're going to film another podcast on that sometime. But anyway, I don't remember what we were talking about, but you had told me you're going to Washington. I'm like, dude, you're going to Washington in like the last week in February, right before the spawn.
I was going for a while too.
Yeah, and you didn't get back to like mid because I remember we weren't going to release our products. We were going to release our products in like late February, and then you called me like, bro, I'm going to Washington. I'm like, well, crap, because we can't release our product now. We got to wait till like April or something. I don't remember when we released them.
Right, because the molds got to my house when I was gone.
Yeah, and anyway, that was in late February, and the fish here don't start spawning till mid to late March. But it was like right there, at the spawn, and I don't think he got back to like the 3rd week in March. Super late. And so I was like, and I was just sending him all these pictures of fish I was catching. I'm like, bro, you missed it, dude. You missed the freaking spawn. Because I remember that.
Going back this year, but I'm gonna wait till the summer.
Do what?
I'm going back this year, but I'm gonna wait till the summer.
Yeah. Well, go like when the fishing is like at its worst. It's 150 degrees outside and it's just terrible.
Yeah, that's when I'll go.
Let's see. I'll tell you something else that's really, really good this time of year. It's the freaking crappie fishing. I caught a lot of, okay, I went twice. I went crappie fishing twice. And in those 2 times that I went crappie fishing, I caught a lot of crappie, and I caught a lot of big crappie. I'm actually looking at one of them that I caught this last year. It was a monster crappie. It was a really big one. We caught lots of them like that. Got real big. And Blaze, have you ever heard of the electric chicken color?
Never.
Okay, electric chicken is
fish with though.
Do what?
I said it's weird, but it sounds like something you fish with.
No, I don't fish with electric chicken. Well, I do crappie fishing, but I don't bass. Electric chicken is actually a saltwater color, because I swear, like, the fish in saltwater just don't really care about colors. They just eat anything. But anyway, so we were fishing this day. It was really warm, and it was in late February. It's about a week from now. Yeah, actually a week from now. Anyhow, we got there, and I started because the water was real dirty, and we were catching them on different stuff. But I was going through my plastic bag, and I thought I want to see if I can catch one of that. And I looked at it, and I said, that's a kind of a bright color. I'm gonna try that. First cast, boom, got one. Second cast caught one. Third cast caught one, and then they quit biting. They didn't quit biting him, but it slowed down. And then about 7 casts later, I caught like a 2-pounder on electric chicken. Really big deal. I've never in my life seen such a ferocious looking color, but this time we were fishing on West Point. We weren't fishing on the main channel. We were fishing on the like West Point's got a bunch of different arms. Like you got the Chattahoochee River, then you got like 2 arms that come out. And we were fishing on the arm that goes into Alabama. We were in Alabama fishing this time, and we were catching them up there. Blaze, have you ever fished on that portion of the lake?
Where at?
On West Point, that going up towards that section that goes into Alabama.
Oh yeah.
So where on West Point have you fished before?
What part on West Point? I mean, not obviously not like every hole, but I've fished about everywhere.
Do what?
I've fished about everywhere there.
Okay. But yeah, I find it quite interesting this time of year. The fishing can be so good one day, and then you go back out the next day, and it's just absolutely terrible. Like that happened to me several times last year, and it's happened to me this year. I haven't really had a whole lot of time to fish the pre-spawn this year, like I want to. I'll tell you something else that's really good to fish. The pre-spawn at jerkbait. I've never. You're gonna think I'm crazy for this, but I don't know that I've ever caught a fish, a bass, like a largemouth on a jerkbait.
No.
Nope, never done it.
You're kidding.
Nope.
And you complain that I have not caught a fish on a frog.
Oh, I mean, I've caught a fish on a jerkbait, but I've never caught a bass.
It's the same difference.
See, I fish frogs to the extent where I won't fish anything else the entire day. I'll get like 4 bites on a frog all day long and be content. That's how I am with fishing a frog. If I don't get a bite on a jerkbait within 10 minutes, I put it down and I tie on something else.
Yeah, I can't do that. Fish.
Do what?
Jerkbaits are just fun to fish.
Frogs are fun to fish. Frogs are like the best. Okay. Jerkbait or, well, I didn't know that you wouldn't have, obviously you'd pick jerkbait because you never caught a fish on a frog. We're going to change that this year. But which lure, I'm trying to think of a good one, 2 good ones you can compare. 2 good ones you can compare. All right. Shaky head or Ned rig?
Shaky head.
All right, good. Now, do what?
No doubt. Because Ned rigs are just so small. It's like they're annoying.
I actually catch a pretty good amount. Okay, so we went,
Oh, I'm saying I use them when I need to, and I'll catch fish on them. They're still annoying though.
yeah, I don't like them.
It's like when you have to fish with a drop shot.
I'm actually gonna get that in a minute. But I had a Ned rig story I want to tell you about. So we were fishing one day, and it was in May 2020. And we were on West Point or whatever. So we had been catching fish all day. It was a really, really good end of the spawn bite, like the second day in May. And so we were fishing and we were catching them on Carolina rigs, we were catching them on shaky head, we were catching them on crankbaits. We were catching them fish both ways, spawn and pre-spawn. So we had got done with the spawn part of it. We were gonna go out and try to catch some pre-spawn fish. And obviously, you know, in West Point, there's a lot of spots. My grandfather was picking off 3.5 pound spots, like one after the other, just boom, 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 boom on a freaking Ned rig. So I said, well, I guess I had to put it on Ned rig. So I put it on Ned rig. I could not get a bite. He not minded that he was sitting there catching them over and over and over, like 3.5 pounders spots. These are some like big spots. He had like 18 pounds in spots that entire day.
Dang.
I couldn't catch a single fish on that stupid Ned rig for the life of me. I sat there. I had the same rod. I had the same reel. I had the same line, same jig head, same color. Throw it in the same freaking spots. Like as soon as he would throw, I would throw at the same spot. I could not catch a fish on that Ned rig for the life of me. It was so bad. And that's why I don't throw Ned rig a whole lot, because I hate them. I actually got one tied on right now, but I probably ain't going to use it because the Ned rigs suck. Well, I'll tell you the back. They don't suck, but I don't like them. It's like me in a drop shot. I don't like drop shots. Actually,
a lot on West Point.
Do what?
You sure throw them a lot to hate them.
Yeah, I throw them on West Point a pretty good bit. Well, I hadn't thrown one in probably a year, maybe a year. Yeah, maybe a year, maybe 6 months. I don't know. There was just one period where it was like in 2019. I was on this good piling bite under bridges or whatever. We were catching them on drop shot the whole freaking time. You're sitting there doing this right here with your hand and a little worm on the jig, on the hook, just bobbing that thing up and down. And here every so often, and it wasn't a good bite. You know, I mean, the fish were there and the fish were biting, but it was like 2 fish an hour. So you used to be sitting there doing this, and the rod would get pulled out of your hand, basically. And the other spots, you know, I wasn't catching no largemouth. I was just catching spots. And they'd come over there and about take the rod out of your hand. They'd be like 2 pounders. It was really kind of rough. I couldn't catch anything else. I actually caught a lot of crappie doing that because the worm I was fishing, I'm not kidding, it was this big. It was really small, like 2 inches long. But I
Wait,
don't like
you said it was big or small?
it was like 2 inches long. It's really small. Okay, wow, we're out of time. Um, anyway, that was a pre-spawn topic, and we talked about turkeys. Blaze, anything you want to add? This we're like 5 minutes over time.
Pre-spawn is not my strong point, so that's kind of your deal right here.
I don't really have anything because we talked about so much the 2 podcasts ago. And we got to film another podcast anyway. So thank y'all for listening. And by the way, like I said a second ago, or earlier, not a second ago, the podcast we filmed last time with McCoy, will be in the link in the description. It's available on Spotify and YouTube. Both of those will be in the link in the description. And we'll catch y'all next time. So anyway, see y'all later.